Greetings, YouTube. Sometimes I plan on making a video that I know is going to be controversial. Not because I want it to be, but just because the nature of choosing certain champions over other champions varies depending on preference. Agreeing with me? You might vehemently disagree with me, or you might just not care enough either way. A lot of questions that come my way on the Line app every week. And those of you out there who hit me up, you know who you are, that ask me. I've done many videos where I talk about what champions from what class to awaken and really in what order should you prioritize them. Now, I call these MCOC editorials because they're my personal opinion, but that doesn't mean it's the best for you. You might just love fighting with the champion. I know somebody who hit me up this week and said, Prof, I finally got to 565, my first 5-star, and I ranked up my favorite champion, and they sent me the screenshot, and I literally fell off my couch because it was none other than Satan herself. Did they have better champions? You better believe it. But they loved Kamala Khan, they ranked her up, and they were so excited. And what was I going to tell this person? You're an idiot. What a stupid idea. I was like, no, this game is supposed to be fun. If this is who you enjoy playing with, then good for you. So in the same way, though, older champions, I see this in sports. There's this aging process where you eventually take really good champions for granted because they're not the hot new thing. And it reminds me of like rookie cards. I still collect autograph cards from football and basketball professional athletes. And, you know, I would routinely see somebody get more excited for a Blaine Gabbert rookie auto than they would a Peyton Manning. And it blew my mind. But, you know, that's how this game works. When a new champion comes out and there's some mystery involved, maybe they're going to be amazing, maybe they're going to be terrible, maybe they're going to be somewhere in between a pretty average champion, the excitement and the hype gets so high that it overshadows the reliability of older champions. It's like being in a relationship where you might think to yourself, man, I really want to be with that really volatile, exciting secretary at work, but actually I should stay with the reliable, dependable, always good partner that I have and not have my eyes stray. Weird analogy? Maybe, but it came to me. So I have seen so many questions about the skill awakening of MCOC, and we are going to sort these champions for the sake of this video. It used to be that Blade was arguably the best champion in the game. Now, I'm not going to use this video to say he's the best champion in the game because I don't believe that, right? When it comes to damage output or utility, he's not. But I have seen in the last 2 weeks, especially the last 5 days, multiple people say Blade's time has passed. Blade is overrated. Blade is not somebody that you should awaken anymore because he's, old news. And it grinds my gears because I still use Blade for everything from dungeons to alliance quest to regular questing to side questing, you name it. And yes, I do have the luxury of having the Holy Trinity at 565, Sig 200, meaning Stark, Spidey, and Ghost Rider. But even so, I have lost count, and I can count, fairly high, of how many times Blade's awakened ability has saved me, even with suicides and even against really annoying, worst enemies or defenders you can fight with suicides possible, like Void, because of the guaranteed power conversion to regeneration. And at Sig 200, as a 5-star, it's 23.96% of a bar of power per second. And it is a lifesaver. I still really enjoy Star-Lord, but the comparisons are laughable between Star-Lord and Blade. Star-Lord has a RNG-dependent special 2, meaning you don't know what you're going to get. You hope for some shock damage or power drain, but it's going to choose it for you. You have no control over what you get. And I think if you could do the mechanics for Star-Lord, what they made Black Widow Clairvoyant, where you control poison or bleed or incinerate, that would make Star-Lord so much better. But at the same time, Star-Lord's still one of the best tech champions, so there are so many other champions. Here's looking at you, Iron Package, that need it, or Hulkbuster, as was voted on by the community, far more than Star-Lord. But that is kind of an annoying part of Star-Lord. But besides that, there are no immunities to him, right? There's no poison or bleed immunity. There's no incinerate immunity, shock immunity, etc. And most importantly, in the Blade comparison, especially Awaken, there's no regeneration. So it really irks me when I see people who say, Prof, should I take up, and this is a common question I get, should I Awaken Aegon before Blade? And even though Aegon is super fun to play, and I have certainly enjoyed my newly awakened 6-star, Aegon is very limited in utility for mainly quests where you can carry over a large combo between fights. And there are a lot of there's a lot of content in the game that really it's just not as advantageous. So if you're asking me who has more utility in the game, Blade or Aegon, I think the answer still is obviously Blade. And yet I'm hearing from people that all their alliance members, all 29 of the people that aren't them, are saying, oh, awaken Aegon before Blade. Now, the controversial part of this also comes in that I'm actually one of the few, maybe, who thinks that I'd rather use that skill class-based awakening gem first on Blade over Nick Fury. There are probably more than half of you out there who disagree with that. But for what it's worth, I still like Blade. I still think that the Danger Sense 2 is so helpful. I was going through the monthly epic or uncollected difficulty today, the regular monthly quest, and I reached that super annoying, unblockable finale path where it's like intercept and evade or bust. And I was fighting against Ultron and then Sentinel, and I forgot until the health was under 25% that Danger Sense can shut down unblockable finale. And that comfort was priceless. Not to mention the fact that Ultron and Sentinel are two examples of champions that are bleed immune, so Nick Fury would not have had the same effect with certainly my 5 out of 5 in deep wounds. I'm not saying Nick Fury or Aegon aren't top-tier champs, because they are. I'm just saying, for what it's worth, I think Blade continues to be as valuable as ever, because if you can get him awakened, and the higher the sig, the better, really, but you don't need him at a crazy high sig for this to work, you can save so much in terms of units, potions, and revives when it comes to survivability in fights. So, I know this might seem random. I know there are going to be quite a few people out there who disagree with me, and that's fine. It's just one man's opinion, and Lord knows it's an Okie in Stillwater, Oklahoma, who's a 31-year-old college professor, and, I don't know if that's worth anything to you. Maybe it's not. But in the meantime, I think that Blade somehow has become such a second afterthought to some people that he's gone from maybe being a bit overrated to underrated. And he's also an example of how when Kabam wants to rebalance or nerf a champion the right way, maybe, they'll just either take off villain tags from people who should have had them. Here's to looking at you, people like Prox and Corvus. Or just put out new nodes that make it to where he's not as effective. But in general, that regen alone, that awakened ability alone, is top tier. And I refuse to, sit by and not at least put my opinion out there when so many people are saying he's just the next Star-Lord, which is kind of an insult to Star-Lord as it is. But the utility comparison is laughably not a good one. There you have it, YouTube. Want to keep this video under 10 minutes, and we're at over 9, so we're going to stop it here and say thanks for watching.